Hi, guys. Good evening, and welcome back once again to The Edward. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I will be discussing what I thought of the latest and very good and emotional episode, the second to last episode of The Boys, which dropped today on Amazon Prime. My goodness, there's a lot to talk about. So, before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled review, so if you're not caught up on The Boys by the most recent episode, which is episode 7 of season 5, you don't want to keep watching or listening to this review, as I will be going into spoilers. That being said, you have been warned. So, I gotta say, I really liked it. Not sure why it's getting so much crap online. Is it because they, spoiler alert, killed Frenchie off? Maybe. I guess people felt like for a penultimate episode, this wasn't very penultimate. But I feel like we're in for a real banger with the series finale. Like, everything will come to a head in the final episode. I'm almost positive of it. And if not, I'm sorry for hyping it up. But I've got confidence and faith that it will. But this episode was still good. I liked it. It showed us much of a tyrant Homelander has become. He murders the President of the United States for not being a true believer. He implements all of these outrageous fascist orders to spread across the United States. And he replaced one puppet with another. He's got Ashley now running the government instead of his puppet president. And then we also saw how he's now rooting out people who still don't truly believe he's God through focus groups and murdering them via focus groups, which was quite terrifying when you think about it. You think you're going in there for special VIP tour and you end up getting murdered because you're not a true believer. Fortunately, and Annie were in there. And probably one of my new favorite scenes in the series or this season is when they're in the sound booth and or the video booth, and gives the Annie and the audience a very real reason why it's important not to give up the fight against evil, because it's who they are and it's what makes them good people, and it makes them feel good doing good for others. So I really loved Mother's Milk's speech, and it got me nervous because I'm like, oh God, are they going to kill him off? Is he going to die? Because this name of the episode was The Frenchman, the Female, and the Man Called Mother's Milk, and I thought one of them or all of them was going to die this episode, and sadly one of them did, but thankfully it was not Mother's Milk, but it was Frenchie. Frenchie was tough to see him go. It was heroic, it was noble. I was hoping he'd get a happy ending with him and Kimiko having a few kids and adopting that cute dog. But sadly, there's got to be sacrifices and there's got to be fatalities in the war against evil. And unfortunately, he was one of those casualties. I'm glad Kimiko was there in his final moments so he could say goodbye to her. I'm sorry Butcher and Huey were late. But obviously they saw that their friend had fallen. And I guess if they were going to kill a member of the Boys, it would make sense for it to be Frenchie because he had no family besides the Boys and Kimiko. I wouldn't say he was expendable, but Mother's Milk would have been more tragic, in my opinion, because he's got a wife and daughter. And he's like the moral conscience. He's like the moral compass of the group. And it sounds like he's just rediscovered himself through that. And I was sorry to see Frenchie go, but hey, you know what? Major deaths were expected to happen this season, and so far it's mostly been soups and villains who have gotten their comeuppance. But unfortunately, a couple of our heroes are probably due for a few deaths as well, and this probably won't be the last major death we'll see before the series finale, because I feel like in the series finale we're going to lose quite a handful of characters. Some good and some bad, so we'll see what happens with that. But I do like how this episode ended with Annie and Mother's Milk freeing the people from the focus group, going back to the two heroes from Gen V, the show Gen V, and now they want Marie's help in fighting against Homelander. and it sounds like she might be the key to ending all of this once and for all. So I really liked this episode a lot. I don't really understand why people are crapping on it. I thought it was fine. I get that it wasn't some big spectacle like people were probably hoping it to be, but I feel like they're saving the big spectacle, the real juicy good stuff, for the series finale next week. And I like how they answered the question of what's going to happen to Soldier Boy, with Homelander basically kidnapping him and keeping him nearby because he can't stand to have people leave him because he has such a need to be loved, to be desired, including his own father, basically. So, of course, he wasn't going to let him go. I didn't think he was going to kill him, but of course, he put him back in stasis. So, no surprise there. Maybe Soldier Boy survives this new soup virus and they just keep him on ice since they can't kill him. We'll see. But I really liked this episode a lot. I'm sorry that not everyone feels that way, but I thought it was pretty damn good. It was gross. It was funny. It was emotional. It had some exciting moments when Mother's Milk and Annie fought back against the Soups and the focus group. Not sure if they killed that Bloodhound guy, but I think the cat lady is dead. Oh my God. The butt sniffing they were doing was outrageous and nasty as hell. Ugh. But I'm glad they both survived. Not Bloodhound and the cat lady, but I'm glad Annie and Mother's Milk made it out of this episode alive. I also love seeing Jeffrey Dean Morgan make a brief appearance, even though it was like a hallucination. Well, not a hallucination, but a different version of him. And I like how instead of driving Huey and Butcher apart, he actually brought them closer together and working together to escape and kill Synapsis, the evil psych soup who was messing and tormenting them. So that was pretty satisfying to watch. And so overall, I'm pretty pumped and ready for the series finale. I'm a little excited, a little nervous, as I'm sure a lot of you are as well. But you know, it's just a TV show, and hopefully it's satisfying. And if not, it ain't the end of the world. It's just a show. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this episode as much as I did. What did you think of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. Have a wonderful rest of your night. The series finale of The Boys drops next week on Amazon Prime, Wednesday, May 20th. Have an awesome rest of your night, everyone. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.